Welcome to Traveling Oracle, the magical podcast, where we talk energetics, spirituality, and how you can use this etheric knowledge to drastically change, transform, and up-level all areas of your life. Are you ready for the glow up? Let's go. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of Traveling Oracle, a magical podcast. I am in a weird mood today. I'm in Texas. It is frigid. Frigid for me. It's like 30 degrees. It's probably like all right for them. But for me, I'm freezing. I'm a Caribbean girl through and through. Though I don't mind the winter fashion, the boots, the jackets, the coats. But I was trying to decide whether or not to record this podcast today or to wait till I'm back home in the Cayman Islands next week. But a moment opened up and I heard Spirit say it's time to record. So here I am, y'all. Here I am. And there is a potent message trying to come through as usual on this podcast. And the message, the first thing I hear is get ready. Get ready. It's so potent. I need to take off these bracelets because they're going to be jangling all over the place. The message is get ready. Things are shifting in 2024. It's almost like I'm seeing in my mind's eye the heavens opening up and a wave of energy that has not visited this earth in eons is now being poured out upon the earth. Things are shifting, things are changing, and this energy is like I see a tidal wave of change coming through and washing through the earth. Those of you who are ready to tune into these energies are going to receive massive changes in your energetic structure, massive changes in your abilities, the things that you're able to do, the things that you're able to hear, see, and feel. Some of you, almost all of you, everybody is going to get some sort of shift in the way their body perceives light, energy, and the material world. It's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And I've already asked the Elohim to surround me as I'm creating this podcast. But I always like to pause for a moment on the podcast with you listening to invite my spirit guides, your spirit guides to connect, and that all the messages that you need to hear right now, the reason that you're listening to this podcast right now, I want it to come through powerfully for you. Thank you, Spirit. And as I take a deep breath, I invite you to take a deep breath with me. And the first thing I am hearing is that the spirit of change is upon the earth. And it is important that every one of you recognizes that the spirit of change is upon the earth and that it is up to you to decide whether you're going to willingly connect with it or you're going to allow it to pass over you. And I'm hearing that even if it passes over you without you connecting, it will change you on some level. The change is inevitable, but there are certain changes that need your active participation in order to have the transformation at the deep level in which Spirit wants that transformation to happen. And so what a lot of people who are spiritually connected and channelers and spiritual leaders, what a lot of people are going to be talking about now is trying to get people to understand the necessity of their active participation in the transformational energy of ascension that's happening in 2024. Now, this energy started in 2023, but what's happening with 2024 is the waves are becoming bigger, and the time between the waves are becoming shorter. So there's a lot more energy descending on the earth. There's a lot more power being thrown towards humanity. And Spirit is saying, please open your hands, open your hearts, and connect. And the heart part is super important because the key of connection between you, your physical vessel, and these waves of energy from the universe or from divine consciousness is the receptivity of your heart. There's an episode that I recorded a few episodes back about love and love consciousness and heart consciousness, and how the hearts of men have grown cold. And that's the reason why we have a lot of darkness being manifested on this planet, because true manifestation takes place through the heart. So whatever your state is in your heart, whatever your state of consciousness is in the heart, so shall be your reality on the outside. And because humanity's heart has grown cold, meaning people have been disconnected from the consciousness of the heart, all that's manifested around them is a disconnect from love. And a disconnect from love looks like crime, violence, human beings hurting human beings. It looks like starvation on one side of the planet while people are eating way too much on the other side of the planet. It looks like the oppression of the divine feminine standing on the neck of the feminine with the masculine in its toxicity, destroying and rampaging through the earth. It looks like chaos and war. No matter how far we go in intellect, chaos and war persists. Why? Because the hearts of men have grown cold. And so this new wave of consciousness that's descending on the earth, in order to connect with it, you must first connect with your heart. I did not know this was going to be a heart consciousness episode, but I guess this is the direction we're going in, because this is also the direction in which I am deepening right now in my own spiritual journey. So what does it mean? How do you connect with your heart in order to connect with these energies of transformation and change, these energies of upgrading of your DNA and of upgrading what it means to be a human being? Ooh, that's powerful. How do we do this? The first thing I'm hearing is, before we even get to the heart, I want to start at the beginning, because I know I have a mixed audience. I have people who have been on their spiritual journeys actively and consciously for a while, and I have those of you who are beginners. And so here is the first step. The first step is to overcome the mind. That's the first step. Why? Because you are already moving through the world through your mind, through your intellect, through your logic, because that's what you were programmed to do when you came to this earth. When you came to this earth, you were moving through your heart, but bit by bit, your family members, your parents, school, society, everyone does everything in their power to pull you out of heart and bring you to mind. Why? Because mind is the thing that rules this matrix. Logic is the thing that rules this matrix. And so you're pulled out of your heart space. You're disconnected from your heart space through the first couple of years of your life, and you're moving through logic and mind. And so if you're trying to get back to the heart space, the first thing is to overcome the mind. And how you overcome the mind is through quieting the mind. This is why meditation is preached through every spiritual teaching you can find. Some may not call it meditation, they might call it other words, but at the core of almost every spiritual teaching, there is something about being quiet, being silent, being still. In 2024, it is time for you to stop giving yourself excuses as to why you cannot meditate, why it's not for you. Working 9 to 5 is not for you, but you did it anyway. Getting a degree in X, Y, and Z is not a normal part of the biological nature of a human, but we did it anyway to fit into our society. You can do hard things. And just like anything else in life that you've pushed yourself to do because you deemed it important, you can push yourself to learn to meditate. You can push yourself to master meditation. It is important because it is through the stillness of the mind that you can become the observer of yourself. You're able to become the observer of your actions. You're able to become the observer of your own thoughts. You're able to understand and see why you act the way you act, why you behave the way you behave, why you do the things that you do that are detrimental to your health, why you do the things that you do that are detrimental to your goals, why you behave the way you behave. You're able to identify your harmful patterns. You're able to identify your good patterns. You're able to identify where you excel, why you excel there, where your downfall is, and why that is your downfall. You're able to understand so much about yourself, but more importantly, you're able to assume a level of quiet calm. And even more importantly than being able to identify the things that I've mentioned before that are good for you to identify for your mental health, for your self-development, and for anything you're trying to achieve in the physical world, all of these things are great to help you in those areas. But the part that I really want to highlight, because remember, we're talking about these energies that are descending on the earth that we want you to be able to connect with. The most important thing that meditation attributes to connecting to that energy is the stillness of the mind so that you can discern the voice of the heart. The voice of the heart doesn't yell. It isn't aggressive. It isn't loud. Therefore, if you are moving through the world in a loud, aggressive way where you're used to everything being super in your face, you're always going, you're always loud, you're never still and with yourself, you will never hear the voice of the heart. And so it is only in the stillness of the mind, the calmness of the mind, that you're able to hear, wait a minute, what is that voice? What is that feeling? What's it trying to tell me? My behaviors want me to go in this way, but I'm hearing a still small voice say I should go in the opposite way. My behaviors want me to eat this, but I'm hearing and feeling this small, kind of like a whisper on the wind saying, no, actually, you want this. That guiding light, that guiding voice, that guiding feeling, however it manifests to you, that guiding intuitive hit is always there, but it will not yell. It will speak and it will wait for you to be still enough to hear and discern it. So as I'm moving off point one, I want to emphasize in 2024, it is time for you to have a meditation practice or take your meditation practice seriously. If you didn't get to do that in 2023, if you didn't get to cement that into your lifestyle in 2023, 2024 is the year to do it. Start now. By March, that habit is built inside of you and it's no longer a thing you have to put effort into. It's just a part of who you are and what you do. So now that you've quieted the mind with your meditation, oh, I'm hearing another hit. Now that you've quieted your mind with your meditation, I'm hearing also, and this is a reflection of what I've been going through right now, the next step is to actually go through life as you would in a meditation. And this has been the hardest thing for me to do because I'm in Aries, I'm a fire sign, I'm fiery, I like to go, I'm action oriented, I like to move, okay? Like, it's a weird thing where my Taurus wants to relax and just revel in luxury, but my Aries is like, bitch, we gotta get up and move. Let's go, let's do something, let's move. But the spirit has been saying to me recently, still, calm, quiet. And I'm like, what do you mean? I meditate daily. I already have still, calm, quiet. And it came back to me, no, You have that, you've achieved that level. Like that's level 1 and level 2. I'm talking about the level after that, 3, 4, 5, and 6, where it is keeping that energy of stillness, calmness, and quietness in your actions. In your movement, there is a stability in your movement, a quiet calmness as you go about your daily life, not allowing anything to take away that calm presence about you. An active meditation, if you will. As you go through your day, you're moving calmly and stilly. Stilly, is that even a word? We're going to go with it. You're moving calmly. You're being still. And it just feels like stability in motion. Ooh. Stability in motion. Which means that on the outside, you may look like you're doing what everyone else is doing around you, but on the inside, you're meditating. You're in a meditative state as you're walking down the aisles in the grocery store. You're in a meditative state as you're at the gym exercising. And I want you to really understand what that means, because I hear somebody saying to themselves, what? So that means I can't enjoy myself? I can't listen to music at the gym? I can't be excited? A calm and meditative state is not the opposite of enjoyment. It's a way of being. It's an energy that you hold. It's a stability that nothing and no one can hit you off your center, if that makes sense. It's a rootedness, and I'm seeing the root chakra right now. It's a rootedness in yourself, that you are still, you are stable, you are sure, you are floating through life. And I'm introducing this concept in theory and in word, but I always want to remind you that you're hearing this concept in theory, but it always helps to sit with yourself and say, but what does that mean experientially? Because there's theoretic knowledge. You can know something with your mind, but not understand it with your body, not understand what it really and truly means. So when you leave this podcast, I want you to ponder these things. What does that mean? Stability in motion. Active meditation as I walk through life. What does that mean for me? How can I incorporate that? What does that feel like? What does that feel like as I move? That's your part to discern. And that stability in motion, the step after that meditative state, is really a bridge to the heart. It's like I'm seeing the energy between, it's that bridge. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm like seeing a whole bunch of stuff while I'm talking. I'm seeing the mind, I'm seeing the heart, and between it, there's a bridge, and that stability in motion is the bridge that you can walk to or walk on towards your heart center. And once you've crossed that bridge of stability in motion and you arrive at your heart space, you focus on connecting deeply with, sitting at the seat of your heart. And around you, you will notice that it opens and lights up almost like a spaceship. Like when I see them on the movies and they go in a spaceship and they sit in the little captain's chair and they press some buttons and then all the lights come up and like it's like the ship is coming alive. That's what it feels like when you sit at the center of your heart for the first time, and it starts to light up and the energy starts to flow and it starts to open up and you're like, what the heck is going on? Because people have preached over the years in today's society that the heart is just about the feeling of love. That the heart is just about, oh, kiki, haha, I love this guy, I love this girl, ooh, I feel all gooey inside. Completely trivializing the true depth of power in the heart. The true depth of power in heart consciousness. Heart consciousness is creator consciousness. Heart consciousness is basically Christ consciousness. And why is it important for me to say that? Because who was Christ? And that's another episode. Lord help me. That's another episode. But I want to point out, who was Christ? whether you are a Christian or not, whether you're not a Christian, you just heard about the stories, everybody knows Jesus Christ as the being that walked the earth who could do miracles. Like, that's a part everybody knows, whether you're a Christian or not, that this person, this being, could call things into existence just with his voice, could turn water into wine, who could multiply bread, loaves of bread and fish, who could heal the sick, who could raise the dead, who said it was so and then therefore it was. We know Christ as a being that walked on the earth, who could command the ethers, who could command the elements, shift the elements, fire, water, earth, air, and move them around at command. That's Christ consciousness. That's true Christ consciousness, which is true heart consciousness. So when you hear people talking about returning to the heart, they're not just talking about all la la la, I love everybody, I love you, I love you, I love you. They're talking about creator consciousness. They're talking about love consciousness, which is true mastery over the elements of reality, true mastery over the ethers, true connection between you and all that is oneness with everything. Because the only reason you can manipulate the elements is because you understand that you and the elements are not separate. And if you're not separate, if you are connected, that means that you can move the elements. That means that you have dominion over the elements. And so this is the power of heart consciousness. This is the power of the heart and love. The energy of love. Not just an emotion, the energy of love. And when you are engulfed in the energy of love and sitting at the center of your heart, and the divine consciousness is seated there with you, you are one with the ether, one with God, one with man, one with the elements. You are it, you are all, you are it, you are all, you are one. I couldn't even find the words. And that's the thing about the mysteries. These mysteries are so deep that at a certain point, I can't find words to describe them. The best way to describe them is in silence. And that's why meditation, again, is so important, because it's in those silent spaces that the mysteries reveal themselves to you. Because there's a certain quality in silence that reveals all to the seeker. And if you're not there yet, it might seem like I'm speaking in riddles, but if you tune into the energy, all will be revealed to you. Everything will make sense. So interesting, because as I'm speaking, I'm feeling energy swirling around me. That's crazy. Energy's like swirling. Like, I channel a lot, and that doesn't happen all the time. Like, there's a strong energy coming through. And so that tells me that this message is superbly important. Divine consciousness really wants this message to reach you and resonate with you. And so it's very important that at the end of this episode, you sit with these concepts and internalize these concepts and try to understand the concepts past the level of theoretical knowledge. Because what divine consciousness is trying to do is to raise every human up to the level where they are Christ consciousness, where they are heart consciousness, where they are one with their ability to create, where they are one with God. And so that energy that is descending, once you are on the journey of quieting the mind, crossing the bridge through stability in motion, on your way into heart consciousness or sitting in heart consciousness, what that energy will do is it will break any chains around you that's holding you back, whether that's your old programming through society, whether that's stuck, stagnant emotion. This energy is coming in like a plumber to plunge that shit out. Anything that you've been struggling with, as long as you've been actively on the path, this energy is going to help to drain all of that negativity, all of that stuck energy, whatever chains have been holding you back that you've been struggling with, but you're not able to release on your own. This energy is being released to descend upon the earth and help you to break free from those things. As long as you're actively searching, this help will come for you. Some of you, your spiritual journey has been stagnant for a while. You're now about to go in leaps and bounds. It's almost as if everything is coming together for you, because that's what 2024 is about. That's what this energy is here to do. So if you're discouraged, if you're falling back on your spiritual practices, if you're falling back on your spiritual development, I want this to encourage you. Now is not the time to let up. Now is the time to put your foot down on the pedal of searching, of asking, of desiring, of looking for truth, of asking to be one with truth, of asking your spirit guides, asking God to reveal truth to you, to help you to merge with deeper truth. Because if you ask, it will be given to you. I promise you. Lastly, I'm hearing that this new layer of heart consciousness is basically creating superhumans. You're going to start to see a lot of people with what we would deem crazy abilities. And you're going to hear people saying, because I come from a very strong Christian background, you're going to be hearing people saying as they see these abilities come upon the earth, oh, it's demonic. It's demons allowing people to do these things. What God do you serve that any extraordinary ability, any exercising of power that you see on the earth, you attribute to dark energies? What then does it say about what you believe about the God you serve, where anything extraordinary, your first thought is not that it comes from him or her? And I'm only going to be talking about Christianity whenever I talk about organized religion, because that's what I know. It hurts my spirit when I see Christians calling anyone who's psychic, anyone who's clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, anyone who has any abilities at all, demonic. You know why? Because it tells me that as a Christian in the church for how many years, you have never truly come in contact with the power of the Holy Spirit. Because if you had, you would know that the power of the Holy Spirit awakens all of these abilities in your body, in your energetic body, in your psyche, and in your physical human vessel. It tells me that you go to church every weekend and you've never truly stood in the presence of God. Why? Because your proximity to divine light gives you extraordinary abilities. Angels have the abilities that they have because they stand in the presence of God day and night. Their proximity to divine light gives them the ability to do all these extraordinary things that we hear and see them do throughout history. Your proximity to divinity gives you abilities. And so if you are going to church every weekend and you can't even intuit when someone is lying to you, something is not right. If you go to church every weekend and you leave that church service every weekend the same exact way you went in, something is wrong. Because again, one cannot stand in the presence of God and remain unchanged. The math is not mathing. And so I'm going to leave it there. You know, I don't like to throw too much on the people. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it at the layer of heart consciousness that is being blasted to earth right now is upgrading our consciousness, upgrading our abilities, upgrading what it means to be human. The very definition of a human is changing right before our eyes. Are you going to actively participate, or are you going to let it pass over you and only experience what minimal changes inactive participation brings? The choice is yours. Thank you for listening, my loves, and I will see you on our next episode. If you want to connect with me, check the show notes below. A link will be there for all my social media platforms. If you would like one-on-one direction, I love my one-on-one sessions with magical beings on this earth. If you're called to connect with my energy on a one-on-one level, to work on the things that we've spoken about in this episode, send me an email. Let's get started. I cannot wait to hear from you. My loves, if no one has told you today, I love you and you are a magical being.